What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is NONPFIXION, and this is my co-host Zach, and this is RealFansSports with our prediction for the conference finals. We are finally here, Zach.
Yes, sir. Yes,
we are
sir.
Finally here.
Long time coming.
It's been a long, long road. So, what you got, man? What you got?
So, first I just want to do a quick recap on just some of the things we've seen. We'll start over on the Western Conference side. Phoenix, Dallas, what a crapshoot of a series. Dallas looked so dominant. Luka looked unstoppable. CP hit his birthday and showed his age, and it hurt him, and they could not get anything going. Luka with Dinwiddie and Brunson and company all playing at a high tier, able to win out on a Game 7 4-3 series. Some great basketball. And then on the other side of things, we had the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies, who I know you have a good bit to talk about over there. You know, we have the young Bucks with Memphis, being the more gritty team. Ja doing the gritty a little too often, and it just brought him grittying back home. What was your thoughts on that series?
Back home. Well, I'm gonna start with Phoenix. So, like I did a video earlier, posted. It's on the channel, so if you want to see a reaction on the channel about what happened in Phoenix locker room after the game. So I saw part of the Bucks game, didn't see the whole thing because I told you I had a headache, so I actually nodded off, and I missed most of the Suns game. I only knew about score stuff because 40 was texting me. Now, when I actually saw the final score, and I saw the very end of the game, I was just thinking, what happened? Like, what? All that crap talking the entire season, all the high siding and showboating with, we're gonna live stream after every game that we win and boast and talk mess and be all high siding and just up in there acting all potpourri. It's just like, what in the hell? Where did that go? Where did that go? Where did that team go? That team
it went away shrunk. Whenever CP and Booker went 0 for 11 in the first half. That's where that went.
Them dudes had, what was it, combined for 20-some points? 30 points?
Maybe. I stopped watching that half, if you want to be honest. I pulled up, saw this, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to check on out.
What happened to your boy DeAndre Ayton? He only played 17 minutes.
So apparently there was actually a big internal disagreement between him and Monty Williams. In the fourth quarter, he did not play a single minute in the fourth, and they said that there was something eternal going on. So we'll see. I know Suns like to keep things a little underbooked. Monty's very to himself guy. He's not one to leak out and be vocal about what's going on in the locker room. But obviously something happened, so that's gonna be interesting. I believe his contract is also due this year.
Oh yeah, so they have about 5 or 6 players that are up for contracts at the end of the season. Well, now there's up contract now because their season's over. Their season's done. Right. But I just want to say that to all those that will come to the chat and say I was being a hater, I'm telling you, when I said they were charlatans, I meant they were charlatans. They weren't real. I honestly felt the Pelicans could beat them. The Pelicans just let CP3 get to his spot. And that's what the Mavs did not do. They shut that down in the beginning. That's what you're supposed to do. Defense works. And just if you don't let him get to his spot, they don't win. If you stop the leader from doing anything, Booker is not that dude right now. He's too quiet to step up. He can talk mess when they winning, but when it's like when you really got to show up, he ain't show up.
Yeah, he went vacant. He disappeared. And then we got Golden State and Memphis, which was a very weird series in the beginning. A lot of terrible foul calling, boats in the ball, a lot of which favored Memphis. But Golden State stayed strong with who they are as a team, and were able to pull out a 4-2. Series win, even though they did lose Ja for the last half of that series. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, I personally feel like they still could have won even if they had Ja, but that's just, I know that's me being a homer, but also me, I actually feel like they could have won. What was the determining factor of Memphis was actually bringing Adams back. That was what actually boosted them. It wasn't Ja, it was Adams, because then in that game where they blew the Warriors out, it was the rebounding. That was the only game that they out-rebound the Warriors. And of course, the last game, when everybody's been saying since the Warriors have been put together since 2015, the Warriors don't rebound. They're too small. Well, the Warriors proved the point. They out-rebounded the number one rebounding team in the league. And that
Big Looney with 22
man,
in that last game.
I'm telling you, that last game, I was like, is that right? Does that really say? Because originally it said 83.
Yeah.
Originally it said 83, then they changed it to 70. So the fact that they got 70 rebounds and that hasn't been done in over 20 years, that's crazy.
Insane.
That's absolutely crazy. I mean, but then we hop over to Boston. I mean, I wanted the Bucks to win, but I knew that without Middleton, that was going to be really tough because everything. Of course, they have their pieces, but at that point, Giannis was going to put everything on his shoulders, and it's a lot to carry. It's a lot to carry when you're going against a much younger team and a more athletic team and a team that defends. It's much more difficult.
Right, and I mean, a lot of things, like when the series first started off, and Boston lost big to Milwaukee on that first game, everybody was like, oh, well, it was just a fluke, and a lot of people are already trying to throw Boston to the curb, but they just played a perfect series against Brooklyn, and they were due for a bad game, and they showed up. We were wondering if we were going to see Tatum actually play at a high level, because we know he can show flashes of being really good and then flashes of being very average to below average, and Giannis put his heart and soul. I know in that last game he had 15 in the first quarter alone.
Yeah.
Played his heart out, but it just wasn't enough. Boston, being a very full team, having a lot of different weapons, they're able to pull off the series, 4-3 in Game 7.
I feel like the Bucks have to go back to the drawing board and they have to restructure. They have to bring somebody else in. Just it has to be more than just Middleton. It has to be more than just Middleton that can actually help bail out Giannis when Giannis is in trouble. Part of the thing too with Giannis is it's the same thing I say about Joel Embiid. It's every big man wants to play from the perimeter now. Like that's back the dude down and put the ball in the rim. Like just stop trying to shoot threes. Yeah, you can make them, but that doesn't mean you should be shooting them. You know what I'm saying? Like play basketball like your position is supposed to be played. You're not a point guard.
Well, I love what Jimmy Butler came out and said. Y'all took Tobias Harris off of me, and we heard some more, and I read up on some reasons why he actually left was because they felt like Ben Simmons wouldn't like him being on the team because it would take minutes away from him and touches away from him. They don't have Ben Simmons anymore. Now they have Harden. Harden not playing like the Harden that we know from 2 years ago. Really only attempted 10 to 12 shots a game. Wherever before he was putting up around 20, and then especially with Embiid being hurt and dealing with the broken eye socket and all those things, wearing the mask, and he toughened it out as best he could, man, because I know he had to be in pain. He took elbows to the face even after wearing the mask and after the occurrence. So shout out to him, but Harden never stepped up, and Miami was just able to run away with it with their great defense, physical. A decent shooting team, and they were able to take it in 6.
Well, I mean, like I said, I just had a feeling that because of the way Harden was playing prior to all that, and just his nonchalantness when he's on the court, it was to me, it's like there was no threat. There was no threat whatsoever. Right. Like the Sixers shouldn't have ever got rid of Jimmy Butler. They shouldn't have got rid of JJ Redick. They shouldn't, because pretty much JJ left there and then went to I think New Orleans and then retired. Like that team was a powerhouse team, and they let too much pride got in the way. Too much pride got in the way because they were mad because Jimmy Butler challenged them in practice. I remember the story when he told them that nobody was good enough to beat him 1v1, and he took everybody out 1v1 and proved that they weren't good enough because they weren't practicing enough, they weren't training enough. He proved it, and they got mad and got butt hurt. Oh, okay, you got butt hurt, shipped him off. That was your championship opportunity, went out the window. Because Harden, like now that the one thing that pissed me off about this whole situation is after the situation with Simmons, Harden throws him under the bus.
Right.
But after the situation not Harden, but Embiid throws him under the bus. But after the situation with Harden, Embiid's like, oh, well, that's not the guy we got. And this is, I said, so why is he getting a pass, but Simmons is not getting a pass? No one knows what's really in Simmons' head. If you were really his friend, you would have spoken to him and tried to figure out and help him. not demean him and talk him down so much to where your fan base is tearing this dude another asshole. It's like that's not how friends, teammates are supposed to treat each other.
I mean, it's first from it, Embiid, we all know him as the league troll. He goes at people's necks, but it comes too much. Like, you're supposed to be the leader in that locker room and getting everyone ready, not feeling like it's not your job to do that. Like, your job is to make sure your team is working fluently, make sure that their mental is right, having dinners with them, talking to them, making sure they feel comfortable going into games. But you put more pressure on them than what fans do, and that's crazy because we know how Philly fans are. Yeah. And you're supposed to be the guy in the locker room that's supposed to be like, "No, settle down, bro. I know you got this game in you. I know how you can play at that level. And if not, and if you're struggling, I got your back. Like, we're gonna get through this." But you don't see that leadership coming out of Embiid. You don't see it.
And to me, like, James Harden is not really a true leader either. Because if it was, that one of those Houston teams would have won a championship.
I agree. So, going straight on from there, after our recaps, we're going to go into the Western Conference Finals matchup.
West, y'all.
The Dallas Mavericks versus the Golden State Warriors. Oh, yeah, we know. Yeah, don't flaunt the hat. Y'all see he got it. Big logos on the hat. Big logos on the cap.
Big logos, big hats.
So, I mean, looking at this, ever since I saw Golden State in the first series, and while Steph was injured and how a lot of these younger guys came and showed out, they instantly became my favorite to go to the finals. I don't think that changes here. But one thing I will say about Dallas is, man, they are just Luka is coming to prove a point. I don't think they have. I'd actually argue they probably have the, least amount of elite talent on their team for the other remaining teams in the playoffs this year.
I could agree with
that. They have a grit about them. They have the ability to win, to be able to fall on each other's shoulders, to play physical, take what they're getting and give it back 10 times harder. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because it's definitely a different team than Phoenix. It's definitely a different team than Utah. I still see Golden State. I think I'm going to say Game 7. I think Dallas is going to give them a run for their money. It's going to be a long series, and I think it's going to be a fun one. And so I'm going to go Golden State in 7.
Okay, so I'm going to say Warriors in 6, period. I'm going to say Warriors in 6. Luka is playing great. Don't take nothing from him. Don't take nothing from Dinwiddie. Don't take nothing from Brunson. I think they're a good team. I just don't think they're going to beat my Warriors. I just don't. People, because everybody's like, "Oh, who's going to guard Luka?" It's not about one person. This is going to be a guard by committee situation. You're going to have Kuminga's going to be on him, Draymond Green's going to be on him, Wiggins is going to be on him, and every once in a while, Looney's going to be on him to absorb. It's going to be by committee, because what they're going to do is the same thing they did to LeBron when first time they met him in 2015. They're going to make they're going to make Luka beat them. And if they can do that and keep Dinwiddie low, keep Brunson low, then that is a successful way of winning. And besides that, like, they still have to hope the Warriors make the same mistakes they made in Memphis. The problem with between Memphis and Dallas is Memphis is a team that creates turnovers. Dallas is not. Memphis is in the top 5 of creating turnovers in defense. Memphis is in the lower tier. They're team 22-21. So because of the turnover issue that the Warriors have, once again, here, the more you know situation, the Warriors have had turnover issues since 2015. That's nothing new. That's never changed. They've had games where they've had 25 turnovers and still won.
Right.
So it's like, that needs to stop being the narrative. That narrative is broken. You know what I'm saying? They've already disproven that narrative. So like I said, I think if the Warriors can maintain just their flow and stay within themselves, Warriors in 6.
Right, and I like how you said that. It's gonna be a committee, defending Luka, and that's one thing that I think Golden State separates himself from a lot of teams in the league is that there is no like hero ball. Technically, there's no one guy that has a chip on their shoulder that feels like, no, I gotta mark this dude to show my worth, or like me versus them. It's us versus them. That's their style of ball, and that's one thing that separates them. And I think that also goes along with that committee defense on Luka. And I think those different looks are going to give him, a little bit of confusion, and that's why I see him winning the series.
Before we go into the next one, I just want to just give a cool, dope shout out to Wiggins. Before that last game, so two things happened before that last game. Steph Curry and Draymond went to the coach and said, Looney has to start, and that's why Looney started. And the second thing was, in the practice the day before, Wiggins went to the coach and said, I want Tyus Jones. 94 feet.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He gave 94 feet of defense the entire game. And that was like a determining factor. That slowed down their offense.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, go ahead. I thought those were
awesome.
Dope
yeah,
things.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So then to go roll on over to the Eastern Conference Final side, we got the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. 1 and 2 seed over on the Eastern Conference side. I think I'm just going to keep riding with my Boston.
Okay.
The Celtics, man. I'm really liking what Tatum's doing. I like, defensively how they play and how they battle adversity. They still played up against a really tough Milwaukee team, even though they didn't have Middleton. There's something out there I really like, and I just see it going that way. I think, Jimmy Butler is going to give a good push. They want to get back to the finals. They haven't been to one, since the bubble, in which a lot of people didn't feel like they even really deserved to be there. I know there's people that thought that, maybe they were kind of like a little lowballed for getting there. And then this year they're coming out, as the first seed. They got some different shooters on their team now. They play really good, solid team defense. Once again, just like how Golden State Warrior does. But I think momentum's going towards Boston. I think it's going towards the Celtics. And I think we're going to see a Boston Golden State championship. And I'm going to go Boston I think it's going to be another 7-game series. I'm going to say Boston in 7.
So I agree with some of the things you talked about as far as when it comes to Boston. I think Boston is a great defensive team. They're starting to find their footing on the perimeter, because some of the things they started doing the last 2 games of the series were something they never did the entire season. So it's like, right. That's cool that they're starting to understand that and find out within themselves. Tatum, he's had some iffy games, but he's had some really good games. You know what I'm saying? So I like Boston for the most part. But I'm going with Butler.
Yeah.
I'm going Butler, and I don't think this is a 6. I think this is a 7-game series. But I'm going with Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. I just think that Spoelstra is one hell of a coach. I think that Butler is a force upon himself, and I think you not only have to actually guard him, you have to contain him, because if he shows any life, any form, that sparks everybody else on that squad. Everybody.
Oh, yeah. His energy's electric.
It's ridiculous.
Electric. It's contagious.
And now that they're in this series, the players who haven't been able to play the previous series because of the matchup will be here. So those 3-point shooters that didn't play in last series, they're playing in this series.
Right.
So they're bringing in Duncan. They're bringing in the guys who got paid money to shoot threes that didn't play the last series.
Right.
Nobody's talking about that. They got 3-point shooters coming out of woodworks to play in this series. Duncan only played like 17 minutes in the last series.
Yeah, and that was a weird thing, and I honestly thought that as more of a negative is why he wasn't playing.
Well, I think it was matchup. Matchup didn't work for them. So, and I think that's really what it was matchup, and just because the way the whole situation with Philly is kind of like dirty ball. So, matchup wise, he didn't fit in that situation.
Right.
But I
can understand that.
I think in this next series with Boston, I feel like Miami is going to come out victorious at the end, and I think it's going to be Warriors versus Miami for the title.
That sounds great to me. So, just so you guys know, we are currently tied up on our predictions. Me and Nan have both been wrong 3 times. I was up 2-1 in the first series, and then he came back stumbling across.
It's like
2-1 on the opposite side, so we're both down 3. So that's going to be the deciding factor to see who goes into the finals with their prediction guesses. Let us know y'all's prediction, and let us know your points on what y'all thought the past series were like. What do you think this series is going to do? If you agree, disagree with us, and give us the works.
Man, if it wasn't for Middleton going down, I'd be up 1 right now. Guaranteed. I'd be up 1. But thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you, Zach, for always being a great part of this team. Appreciate you guys. We hope that you guys check out new content. We have more stuff coming to the channel. We just uploaded a video before this one, so there's another one. There's some reactions I did. Levels. Zach has a video coming for This Week in Sports. He's talking about several different topics that's across the board, not just basketball, but we got some basketball. We got some basketball. We have some football. Probably some notes on football. We have some possible some baseball stuff and some WNBA. So definitely check out those videos. But thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and don't forget, truly, we thank you for all your support. Hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, noon, wherever you are in the world today. My name is NONPFIXION. My co-host Zach. This is Real Fan Sports. Catch you on the next one. Peace, love. We out, y'all.